very pretty.
Thank you. Did you press record?
I did, but it's tilty. There we go. Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and this is my beautiful daughter, Francesca. And we have been developing these jade plants together. Oh, you're wondering what's on my head? Well, my bride gets terrible migraines at least a couple of times a month. And so this is actually an ice pack helmet that helps with her migraines. And it hits all the little pressure points and stuff in your brain housing group. However, it is unseasonably hot today, and I'm melting, so I'm just wearing it to keep my core temperature down. My daughter calls me Merlin because apparently I look like a wizard. Anyways, so today we're going to prune up these jade trees. So I've had Franny's. I've been taking care of this one for about a year because we've had her kitty, Coffee Bean, for exactly 1 year today. And if you don't have a cat, like, kittens are the absolute biggest terrorists on the planet. Like, you can't have anything. Can't have anything on shelves, can't have any plants, nothing. Like, the amount of things this little kitty gets into, it's incredible. She's awesome and so cute, but totally a terror. So, anyways, if you could see here, mine have much more refined leaves. And I think it's because, well, maybe we got them at different times. That's what happened. So they're probably different species. This has like a little red tone to the outside, but I was going to say maybe I pruned it a few more times. So, you know, when they come in, they're usually smaller the harder you prune them. So I think we have a game plan. Franny had been developing, last time we pruned these two main trunks hard, and this was a tiny little baby, which you can go back on the playlist and check that out if you want to. But by pruning these hard and letting this thing grow, it's really increased its length. It's got some nice foliage on it. And, you know, the goal of getting all three trunks to be woody and grow up together, a little triple trunk, it's well on its way. I think it'll be really cool to have a nice little canopy like so with a triple trunk down there. And then mine, it's got one main trunk and then it breaks into three because I love the number 3. So I think I got this in Florence last year. Some guy just walked up to us on the gold bridge, where they sell all the gold. He gave you a bracelet, he gave me this, and maybe Laura a sticker or something. So, all right. So you want to prune yours at the same time as mine, or let's go through it together?
Let's go through it together.
All right. Pick up your weapon. Okay. So we kind of had a little discussion prior to this to see where we wanted to take it. So what she's going to do is with these two main trunks, she's going to take it to the highest point underneath the second to last inner node. Okay, so you leave a little bit of room for dieback, and you leave one leaf on each branch so that it doesn't die off, because that would defeat the purpose. But by pruning it back so hard, we're going to encourage the energy to come back to this little baby here to get this to woody up. So let's prune these, Fran, and then we'll see. We'll probably twist off some of these larger nodes down here, and then just let this one grow wildly until it woodens up. So, okay. So just below the second to last inner node on each branch. Cool. So, like, normally I would just set these on top of some soil and let them root and grow up. But I'm running low on soil. I'm not going to blame the pandemic. It's basically me, because I haven't ordered anything from Amazon or anything like that. Because I've just been doing my best to recycle. And I have a huge pile of soil with some manure mixed in the yard. So whenever I need a little extra, I toss in that with some of the perlite heavy bonsai soil I typically have. So I'm like, all right, well, next stage of my plants are a little older now. They're going to get some cow fertilizer. So that's kind of what's been happening here. So yeah, okay, keep going. So it's like, yeah, perfect. 1 o'clock here in the East Coast of the United States. In a couple of hours, the Champions League soccer match. Yes. Yeah. is going to occur Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain. And I'm totally psyched because everybody knows, not just Europeans, like the Germans and the French, like they have a huge rivalry. Like there's even a territory in the south of France that we stayed in when we were driving through that has flip-flop between being Germany and France like 10 times throughout history. So I'm really excited about like that underlying cultural factor. But what I'm most excited about, what? Am I talking too much? Keep cutting.
Where?
You know, just below the first, second internote. So, anyways, why I'm really excited is because if you've been following this channel, you know that I have Polish ancestry, and my ancestor Joseph Ignacy Kraszewski actually has a museum in Germany, but that was because he was banned from Poland by the Russian government because he was speaking out against the way they were treating the peasants. Back in the day, he was a nobleman, and so they banned him from Russia, put him in prison. So he was in Germany, and he started like a small, basically community within Dresden, Germany, of Polish people that were persecuted and, you know, ran from their land. So he not only was he a novelist, he was a person for the people, and so even though I am half Italian by ancestry and half Polish, I truly just claim the Polish side. So my last name's Kraszewski, and Joseph Ignacy Kraszewski. So short story long, today the captain of Bayern Munich, the team that I believe is going to win, his name is Lewandowski. He's a 31-year-old Polish national who's the captain of Bayern Munich, and he is just really aggressive, very talented. Not taking anything away from my homie Mo Salah from Liverpool, true to my team. But how cool would it be if the best club team in Europe won the championship and the captain was of Polish descent? I just feel like that's really cool. So, needless to say, I am betting heavy on the Bayern Munich side and rooting hard for my Polish brother. And yeah, that's my Kraszewski history lesson there. Okay, so why don't you start at the bottom, start twisting those off. So this is a good technique if you're using a Jade. Just keep twisting it like it's a top to a pickle jar. Yeah. So you just twist it off, and you could actually lay these on soil if you don't have that many plants and you want to increase your base. Like these will all just start rooting in the soil and then growing their own little plant. It'll take a while, but it'll happen. Yeah, all the big ones. Let's do all but the top 4. Nope, you messed up here.
What?
There's 1, 2 still left. And then there's 1, 2 still left. You're supposed to get below the second to last. So right there. Top. Higher. Yeah, attitude. I don't like that one. This is why my daughter needs me to help her make every decision in life, because I'm such a control freak and she's afraid to make the wrong decision. So, parenting by Jared Paul. Maybe don't do it like that. I just can't help it. It was bred into me in the Marine Corps. You're in charge of people. You're in charge of every single aspect of their life. I think that's looking pretty good. Actually, you know, we should probably remove that one. But, like, do it towards the top, just under the last internode, so it can die back a little bit. Yeah. So, if you're doing your first prunings or whatever, you're thinking, oh man, that's going to be so ugly and unsightly. Well, yes, it is, and it would be, but you wait for the tree to recover. Some sort of a seed, not seed, some sort of egg sac there. So, what was I saying?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. So, never mind. Moving on. That one's done. Okay, cool. All right. So with this guy, I am like extremely pleased with it. It's really gotten nice and woody. It's thickening up down there at the trunk. All three of the branches are getting woody, and I love that the leaves or wherever these would be considered are coming in a lot smaller. So, I mean, this is at like tip top perfection. This is how I would display it if I was ever to do a bonsai show, which I haven't, and I probably won't because, you know, I'm way too competitive, and you can't bring competition and bonsai together. That's two worlds colliding. It's like the yin and yang. You can't compete in bonsai, in my opinion. Okay. Is it bad that I don't even want to prune this at all? Okay. Well, let's look at some of the cross branching. So I'm just going to start twisting off some of the buds I don't like. So this is a very popular bonsai tree because it's very forgiving. Doesn't need a lot of watering. So if you're disorganized and don't consider your plants for weeks at a time, this would be the one for you. My buddy Scott Winard has a ton of them out at Let's Do Bonsai in Sheffield, England. So he just sent some out to his friends. Because, you know, you pull any of these off, they turn into trees. So it's just, you end up with a ton of them. You get to a point in your plant and tree growing career where you're like, okay, I don't need any more. Let's stop. And you feel wasteful because you know these would take so well as cuttings. But unless you own a nursery, what are you going to do with them all? I have a small ranch. They're not all going to fit in the house, and they're indoor plants. So wow, this thing is freaking gorgeous.
It's so clean.
All right, so I think because of the ease of growing these and just the style itself, this is one of my first, and I would say it's probably my most attractive as a bonsai. So what I'm doing is just twisting them off so there's no like interception here and crossing. Ooh, you know, it's kind of showing like it would be really cool to develop this with like each branch has its own little pads, so we could mimic the old school Japanese and Chinese bonsai that have the little like square steps. That would be fun. All right, so let's take a little height of that baby. Do it for me. Just prune. Oh, there's two branches there. Nice. Just prune like right here.
Hmm?
Yeah. And then right there. Boom, boom. So this thing's shaping up. So, comment of the day. Let me know what your favorite European club team is. Or it doesn't have to be European. I don't know anything about like African or Japanese or Chinese club teams. Maybe it's a popular thing. Spanish, German. What's your favorite club team? I'm Liverpool. And I know people are like, oh yeah, front runner. And it's so rough to be the Champions fan because that's exactly what people think. They're like, ah, you only like them because they're the champion. And it's like, well, yeah, that's exciting. But they weren't the champion for 30 freaking years. I've been a fan since 2011. Now I'm American. Okay, we have not had the most exposure to European football growing up. It really, really has taken off in the past. Well, probably since the Red Sox purchased Liverpool in 2011. So yeah, like 10 years it's been popular in the U.S. and available on TV. But before that, there was really nothing. And honestly, like I played a whole hell of a lot of soccer / football. As a captain of my high school team, I played in the Marine Corps before I got fucking blown up. I'll put a beep in there. But like I didn't know true like classy football, so I was just a meathead, just kicking the shots as hard as I possibly could. I mean, I was good. I would make every penalty shot because I would just blast it through. But the finesse and the style and that I've observed, I'm like, I'm so disappointed with myself. I could have been so much better. Isn't that funny? Like just being exposed to another culture, like that could have totally impacted your life. Come on, you. All right. Are you dying right now?
I love you.
Love you too. So I'm just gonna keep going and take out like the next 5 largest leaves, and then I'm gonna stop. I'm setting the rule. 4, 3. Oh, it's a little crowded. I gotta change my rule. I gotta take these out. So boom, boom. Let me bring that in for a little visual. All right. So you're supposed to have this elephant facing west or maybe north. I don't know, something like that. I'll look it up again. Oh man. I'm not trying to be like, I hate bragging, but I really freaking think I did a good job with this tree. I love it. Wow, that's nice. Okay, let's take a look at Fran's. So we've got some local Connecticut quartz in there, some dead moss. But hers is thickening up nicely too. That's really attractive. It reminds me of like a little palm tree in tropical island, how they all grow at different angles, all crazy and wild. All right, y'all. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I know that I did. Hopefully Franny did. But I really don't care. Just playing. So, hey, if you're a bonsai broski out there, you got a kid, wife, girlfriend, anything, you know what? Just introduce them to it. Even if you're like making them do it, they're learning things. Maybe in the future, that's something that they'll embrace and get into as well. So, anyways, I've been doing this bonsai thing 3 years, so I'm pretty proud of this Jade, and I'm excited to watch the game at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, enjoy your Sunday, y'all, and we'll see you soon. Much more to come from Jarhead Bonsai. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.